All right, folks, that's it. We're here. It is patch 25.2. I am Heretic, and let's jump right into the news and look into this. I am excited. I am ready to go. Patch 25.2 will be live at 1 p.m. Eastern. Here we go. So January 17th, that's today. In just about a half an hour, we're going to have the new patch launch, and everything is going to be here. So here's some of the changes. Some of this is recap. Some of this is brand new. So get ready, dig in here. 15 damage armor cap will now persist until a hero has died and the game reaches turn 8. So you're not going to take significant damage on turn 6 and 7 somehow because someone incredibly high rolled. Nice change. I'm kind of okay with that. Now, armor is now going to appear overlaid over the health bars. Change. Good with that. Undead and dual type minions have been added to the Battlegrounds, so be ready. We're going to go into all those in a little bit. The Undead is going to appear in the lobbies for 2 weeks after the patch, and then they will appear in 75% of the lobbies for additional 2 weeks. I'm not a huge fan of that change. I feel like the 2 weeks is enough. But, I mean, I guess we're going to get weaned out of it after that, but we're really, after 2 weeks of it, we're really going to be looking forward to those 70, the 25% of those games. We're going to start being like, oh, nice, finally it changed. It's kind of like in the previous metas where Murlocs were too much and Poison disrupted the game. You always felt a little relieved when Murlocs weren't in the pool. It's going to kind of feel like that, I believe. And now we're going to get 5 seconds longer on turns 5+, just for a little while while people learn the new cards. This is something they've done a number of times. We're not shocked by that. New Battlegrounds track is out. We went over that last patch. They're going to add some new skins. They're going to add new emotes, all that fun stuff. So definitely, if you're interested in that, go take a look. You also, to get the 2 extra heroes, have to get this. So take it into account. If that's a good investment, if that's worth your time, do that. Hero pool changes. Some good ones, some big ones, some new ones. Future side, if you have missed this, it's 4 gold. Craft a custom Undead. You get to do it 3 times a game. Some of these are pretty awesome. Some of them are really neat. They're not minions normally. They're kind of weird conglomerations that you will never see in the game otherwise, but they are pretty awesome. I look forward to getting some future side games, and actually that's going to be a lot of fun. This is very similar to an old system that used to exist in what is now Wild Hearthstone, and it was a lot of fun with that Rexar hero when you could do this and jam these together. This isn't nearly as powerful because you can only do it 3 times, but in Battlegrounds that can be pretty disruptive, so we'll see. Next, Maleficent Mana Storm. This change, I don't know how I feel about it. So it used to be that your mech's got +1/+1. Now, whenever you summon a mech, gains +2 attack. Now, I know some people have said, but Heretic, this means my tokens are better when they get summoned. And I'm like, yep, that's called Deathwing. This seems like a crappy version of Deathwing. Kind of liked it better where it was before. Not much, but I'd rather just play Deathwing than do this. But change for Maleficent, I don't a lot of them. So, sorry, Maleficent, you've been tougher? No, we'll see. Lord Jaraxxus has been changed. Instead of giving your demons +1/+1, you choose a friendly demon. It consumes a minion in Bomb's Tavern and gains its stats. So think Fellbat, something along those lines. Except it's targeted, only costs 1 gold. This is pretty awesome. I don't know how much we're going to see demons play in the current meta right now, but long term, I think this has some real potential. We'll see. I mean, maybe not, but this sounds kind of cool to me, but we'll see how it plays out. Pyramid, they've changed Pyramid just a hair. Basically, instead of starting at +2 health, it's a +1 health. It goes up every turn that you don't use it, just like it did before. I think this is just to bring it in line with the way the current meta is going to look and what's going to happen. Good change, though. No complaints. It's not a big deal. Galewing, this is kind of cool. I like Galewing a lot. It's more thematic. You can no longer choose the same flight path twice in a row. So no, we can't constantly hit the one in the middle that gives us a free minion every 3 turns, because typically that's all we did. Doesn't really make sense for you to jump on a flight path to end up at the same place constantly. Weird way to spend your time. Put it into World of Warcraft standards, you look like a very odd individual, but there you go. So the new flight paths are 1 turn, give the leftmost minion +2/+2. Once again, not stellar, but not bad. I mean, there's scenarios where I could see it being useful. Ironforge, in 2 turns, gain 2 gold. I like that one. That's not bad at all. Good economy there. We'll have to look at the curves and see how they play out. That has some good potential. And Eastern Plaguelands, the one that everyone always wants to jam all the time. 3 turns, discover a minion of your tavern tier. Updated the armor tiers. We're not going to look at this. A lot of the armor tiers have changed. They're moving everything around. This is something, if you really want to know, just go dig into that. It's definitely all out there. New minions. Now, some of these, a lot of you know. Some of them you may not. That's why there's chapters, so you can skip past the ones you don't care about. Risen Rider is now a 2/1 Reborn Undead. This is a new minion at tier 1. Pretty good. This is like Acolyte of Cthulhu back again. It's not a 2/2, so it's not nearly as good, but probably going to be problematic pretty fast. Wrought-Hide Knoll, as it's a tier 1, 1/4, has +1 attack for each friendly minion that died this combat. Not the kind of minion you want to keep long, but in the early game, sit it on the right side of your board. Not bad. Good potential. I mean, past turn 3, I don't know, but we'll see how the game plays out. Thorn Captain. This one I kind of like. Tier 1, 4/1, which doesn't sound great because it's only got 1 health, but after a card is added to your hand, gain +1 health until next turn. Once again, an early game card you're not going to be sitting on forever, but there's some interesting early game potential, especially if you get a lot of cards somehow. Probably going to ditch this relatively quick, but in the early game, it's fun. Now we start getting into the undead shenanigans. We have tier 2, 1/2 Reborn, Scarlet Skull 1/2, give a friendly undead +1/+2 death rattle. That's pretty awesome. This one we'll see hanging around quite a bit. Is it, on par with like Spawn of N'Zoth? No, but it's still pretty good. And with the synergies with undead, that makes it a lot better. Eternal Knight, now we're getting into the busted stuff. So tier 2, 4/1. Eternal Knight has +1/+1 for friendly Eternal Knight that died this game, wherever this is. This is going to get pretty bonkers. Right now, it might not sound it, but as we get into some of the later minions, you see the shenanigans you can pull. Next up, we have Nerubian Death Swarmer, tier 2, 1/3 Battlecry. Give your undead +1 attack for the rest of the game, wherever they are. So in the tavern, in your hand, on your board. That's pretty cool. Isn't this great to have on your board? No, but if you cycle through it just because, it's a good time, you have the right amount of gold, you just want a buy-sell turn, not a bad minion if you're running undead, and it affects all your tokens and everything, so why the hell not? Next, we have Blazing Skyfin, this tier 2, 1/3 Murloc Dragon. After you play a Battlecry minion, gain +1/+1. This is Kaligos for it just itself, but on tier 2, this could be very interesting. If you cycle enough Battlecries, it can be monstrous. Let's not even go into the fact that it's a Murloc Dragon, so the synergies of the extra things you can pick up late in the game, this thing can be disgusting. It's going to be cool to see what happens with this. Next, we have Corpse Refiner, Avenge 4. This minion sells for 1 more gold. So it's tier 2, it's a 2/3. I don't care for this, but if you get it early enough and you do have enough tokens, certainly can be some economy sitting on your board for a couple turns. We've all had the tier 2 minion we didn't really want. Just happened to sit on the board just to fill out our board. Enough things die and this sits there. This could be quite the economy piece. Now we have Jelly Belly. Tier 3, 3/5. After a friendly minion is reborn, gain +3/+3. And it's a combat buff, so it's going to go away, but the early tempo on this is pretty good. It's not going to be something you want to have super late game, I don't think. But in the early game, it's pretty disgusting, and who knows what synergies are going to line up in the end, what we might end up wanting. Ghoul of the Feast, tier 3, 2/4. Avenge 1. Give a friendly minion of each type +3 attack. Another, in combat buff, temporary, but a lot of attack really fast. If you're sitting this on the end, it's kind of a poor man's version of what is it named? The bird buddy. So I mean, it definitely will do some work, except it does it as menagerie and not just one tribe. So potential there. I don't know late game if you'd want to have this, but certainly in the early to mid game, there's some value in this. Not the best minion, but good utility. So, tier 3, Lich Doctor, 3/2, Taunt. At the start of your turn, give your minions that died last combat +1/+1. Once again, not a great minion stat-wise itself, but if it's sitting on your board for a couple turns, just buffing your stat lines, if they're minions you're going to keep, not bad value there. Again, not stellar, but you could do worse. All right, Felemental, tier 3, 3/1. Battle Cry, minions in Bob's Tavern have +1/+1 for the rest of the game, and it's an elemental demon. Yeah, not a bad minion to just cycle. Tier 3 seems to have a lot of utility built into it. This was another good example of that. Soul Splitter. Oh, now we're getting weird stuff here, folks. Tier 4, 4/2 Undead. Reborn, start of combat, give a friendly Undead Reborn. Now, it's random. You can't target it, but that's pretty awesome because now you're going to get things that shouldn't have Undead, that shouldn't have Reborn, that are Undead, will have Reborn. Start to see as we get into the later minions how this can be problematic for everybody else. Handless Forsaken, Tier 4, 2/3. Death Rattle, summon a 2/2 hand with Reborn. This one, I don't know how I feel about. It depends where you are on your board and what you have. But if you want to summon a lot of Reborn minions and just keep cranking things out on your board, not bad. I don't know what this one's going to do exactly. I need play before I can really decide on this one. I will say just looking at it, I don't see the potential of it being very good for its stats. Tier 4. But that Reborn interaction right now really leaves a lot to be. Helping Hand. Now, this is a Tier 1 2/2 Undead with Reborn. Interesting. It's what's going to pop out from this, I believe. It also has Reborn. So the synergy we're looking at can be quite good there. Once again, if you're running a board that's, say, buffing based on Reborn dying and whatnot, or Avenge in general. So decent potential there. Possessive Banshee, Tier 4, 2/7. Battlecry, give an Undead +2/+7. You want to give health. There you go. I mean, the attack's nice, but that health, that +2/+7 is kind of nuts. Possessive Banshee will definitely be helping your low health Undead get some significant stat buffs. Now we have General Drakasath, a Tier 4, 2/8. Battlecry, add a 2/1 Smolderwing to your hand that gives another dragon +5 attack. And right here we see the Smolderwing, which is a Tier 1, 2/1. Give a dragon +5 attack. Not outstanding, but definitely can buff up your dragon's attack a little bit. Not going to complain. I'm just not excited. It's kind of boring compared to the other. Peggy Sturdy Bone. Folks, if you remember Peggy, this is the same thing. The only difference between the two, the original Peggy and this Peggy, this one isn't dead. You notice the art, this one's alive because it would have to be pirate undead, and they felt that wasn't going to work very well. So Peggy just is a pirate now, so she's back to being alive. Congratulations, Peggy, you've been resurrected. Now, Pronormu. Sorry, Bronze Dragon names in general, a little painful to say. They Tier 4, 4/4. While this is in Bob's Tavern, gain the stats of any minions sold. Well, it's in Bob's Tavern, so that means it has to be in the shop. Any minion you sell doesn't include my half of the board. I don't know. I haven't played with it yet. But if it has to be in the tavern, the shop side, I don't know how you ever make it gold. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my half of the tavern counts as the tavern also. In which case, this is basically like the quest where you just cycle cards back from the quest meta that would move stats around, except it's just always going to move them to here. So it's interesting. I like the potential of this a lot, depending how it actually interacts and works. I haven't actually played it, and I don't remember seeing anyone use it. I'm sure somebody did it. I just can't recall it right now. Will be interesting. Tier 4, 1/1, Magmalock. Elemental Murloc. At the end of your turn, gain +1/+1. Repeat for each minion you played this turn. Now, if you're in any kind of Elemental Murloc pirate cycling situation, you get pretty big pretty fast. Probably don't want to do it in a pirate lobby, but it's a menagerie weird setup. This could work well. I mean, there's certainly some new potentials we can do with this. I like it. It has me intrigued. Next, Tier 4, 2/4, the Puffer Quill. This is a Quillborn Naga. After a spell is played on this, gain poisonous until next turn. Again, it's poison now being put in the Quillbor in the Naga tribe. This scares me a little bit because you know how poison can go. Especially if you're using it with Naga, because then if you get a glow scale, give it Divine Shield. And yes, when it's gold, permanent the poison. Oh, pretty cool. Important note, though, if you do this, because I have seen this interaction, make sure you play the spell on it after it's gold and not before it's gold, because it will only keep it permanently if it's played after it's gold. So if you take the Puffer Quill, put a spell on it, then triple it. It will not be permanent gold, even though it will have poison. It will not be permanent poison, even if although it shows poison, you have to play another spell on it. So make sure you get that order right. There's so many minions, I know. Luckily, we're getting there. And if you've already seen these, you can skip this section for chapters. Tier 4, 3/4, Sindorai Straight Shot. Wind Fury, Divine Shield. Whenever this attacks, remove Reborn from the target. Are you tired of leapfrogs? Always out front. There's usually 2 of them with taunt. Not bad. You can annoy them with this. So this is some interesting potential. Obviously, it is really meant for Undead, as they are going to be the biggest perpetrators of that. But pretty cool. I like this change. Oh, change. New minion. Next, we have Tier 5, 5/3 Undead, Anubarak, Nerubian King, Death Rattle. Your Undead have +2 attack for the rest of the game, wherever they are. So that means tokens, still in the shop, not yet dead, but going to be dead. I mean, just anything you can come up with, they're getting +2 attack. Pretty cool effect. Long term, pretty nice. The earlier you get this, obviously, the better. Pretty neat. I mean, I like that. Next, we have Tier 5, 3/4 Undead, Hungering Abomination, Avenge 1, in +1/+1 permanently. Interesting, this card. It's Tier 5. It has low stats. It's going to take some time for it to build, but it's Avenge 1, and since Undead is so ridiculous with Reborn and whatnot, this might work. It also could be too slow right now, and it might be changed, but waiting to see. It looks promising. Next, we have a Tier 5, 2/8 Mech Dragon, Cyborg Drake, Divine Shield. Your Divine Shield minions have +10 attack, so including itself, but it's an aura, so the moment the minion loses Divine Shield, it should lose the 10 attack, if my understanding is correct. If that is the case, not as good, but I mean, it'd be broken if it just kept the +10 attack to all your dragons that ever had Divine Shield. We'll have to see this one play out to know 100%, but I'm pretty sure that's how it plays. I'm looking forward to this one. This looks like fun, folks. Tier 5, 4/4 Undead Beast, Sid Runner Blanchy, Reborn. This is Reborn with full health and enchantment. I mean, depending what you can line up, at least thematically, this is a fun one. I mean, if you've seen my logo, you know I already like horsies. I just prefer this one to be on fire. I think that would be cooler, make a nightmare out of it, but okay. Probably thematic to the World of Warcraft and why it's red and looks the way it looks. Still cool. I'm excited. This will be fun. Titus Rivendare, folks. This is a very familiar card to you, but slightly different also. So this is the replacement for Baron Rivendare, because Baron Rivendare was actually listed in the card type as being undead. And we can't have him only in undead lobbies, and they didn't want to put him in all the time. So Titus became alive again. Congratulations, Titus. You've been brought back to the living, or we time traveled in. Bronze dragons, who knows? But the important thing is death rattles don't trigger twice now. They trigger an extra time. And that's important because if you have multiples of Titus Rivendare, they will now not stack, but happen independently of each other. So this will trigger an extra time because of this one. And then if you had another one next to it, an extra time. Or if you had a normal one next to a gold one, yeah, you're getting the picture. And if you this could be an interesting, plays that we haven't quite seen yet. Maybe your leapfroggers are even bigger than they ever were before. See how it plays out. This could be fun. All right, now we're getting into some of the more crazy stuff. Tier 6, 8/1 Undead, Eternal Summoner, Death Rattle, summon 2 Eternal Knights. If you remember Eternal Knights from way back when we started, this is going to be summoning more of them, more death, more disgusting. You could make, picture a Nubarak, where wherever your minion is, it gets +2 attack. Getting out of control pretty quick. It's pretty awesome, but at the same time, these are going to be statted. Your tokens are going to be 60 attack when they pop out. Next up, we have Tier 6, 6/6 Undead, Colossus of the Sun, Divine Shield Reborn. Pretty good. Can't really go wrong there. Nice stat line. Undead, it's Reborn, so you can already buff it and do other nasty things to it. This could get some work in here, folks. The one that really is going to break the game open for all that Undead, for all that Reborn, for whatever tribe you're using, Tier 6, 4/11 Undead, Sister Death Whisperer. After a friendly minion is reborn, give your Undead +1/+3 permanently. So, I mean, even if you're just running like a weird menagerie reborn crap, this thing's buffing itself at the very least. It's not how you're really going to do it, but you're going to have some nasty boards where you could just have a front load of reborn and have undead getting buffed forever permanently. Obviously, the ultimate build, the way you want to, is with this buffing your board forever with all undead so they can get ridiculous stats. But we're going to see how this plays out. I think this one's going to be seriously nerfed pretty fast. Don't worry about that. Next, we have Fellstomper. There's still more. Tier 6, 3/7 Demon Beast. After you summon a minion in combat, give your minions +3 attack. This is pretty good. It's not insane. It's not crazy. Compared to the other ones we've seen, this seems almost balanced, folks. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just so overwhelmed from looking at all the crazy undead reborn shenanigans that this is broken in some way I haven't yet considered. But we are a little overwhelmed with other shenanigans. We now have Mecha Jiraxis. Tier 6, 315 Mech Demon. Battlecry, add a random Mech Demon to your hand. These are not what you think they are, folks. These are different. These are new cards you'd be adding to your hand. And we're going to show you these just now. They're pretty damn good. The problem is that versus all the other undead and crazy scaling, it seems painfully slow for what it's going to be giving you. But let's look at it. So we have Tier 1, 5/5 Mech Demon, Rusted Reggie. Wind Fury can magnetize 2 mechs and demons. I like the fun of these. These are going to be interesting. I think once undead are brought into line, these will be a lot of fun. We have Megatherodon Prime. Yes, folks, it's that hard to say for me. Tier 1, 110 Taunt can magnetize 2 mechs and demons. It's a mech demon. Not as exciting as the other one, but taunt when you need it with a chunk of health. Not bad. And finally, Althrak. That sounds right. I hate the name. Sometimes it's like, how do I say this? Tier 1, 10/1 Mech Demon Reborn can magnetize 2 mechs and demons. Not bad. This is pretty nasty. There's a lot of cool cards in here. This is going to be a lot of fun. And finally, actually the last one. Oh my God, we're actually at the last one. I forgot about this one. So some of the cards have been removed for various reasons. This one has been put back in to cause the same problem in my mind. We have Tier 6, 2/9 Naga Pirate Greta Gold Gun. Spellcraft, make a different friendly pirate or Naga golden until next turn. It's Tony Two Tusk, but you can target it. That's pretty damn nasty. So now when you get this, you don't have to wait Tony to trigger and make your Hogger gold or something else by accident. You just make your Hogger gold. At least it's Tier 6, right? We have that. Let's look at the minion pool update and see what we've got there. Icky Imp and Budding Green Thumb have returned to the minion pool. Good cards. Icky Imp, not so much excitement, but Budding Green Thumb at least has some real potential with the whole Avenge pool and everything, so that'll be fun. We have Peggy Brittlebone, Baron Rivendare, Salt Scale Honcho, Glyph Guardian, Yoho Ogre, Stasis Elemental, Major Domo Executus, Bonker, Mechano Egg, Baby Crush, Pale Scale Crocolisk, Imp Mama, Tony Two Tusk, Draconid Enforcer, Razorgore the Untamed, Witchwing Nest Matron, Imprisoner, Khadgar, Mithrax the Unraveler have been removed from the minion pool. So these are the minions which are now gone. Some of them have just been changed. So it says they've been removed like Baron Rivendare, but he's been replaced by Titus, which is effectively, for what you need to worry about, the same thing. But others are completely gone. And some of these are good to see gone and others are not so good to see gone. We'll see how it all plays out in the near future. Other minion updates. Micro Mummy has gained the Undead minion type. So, heck, Undead. Makes sense. The art looks right for it, so that's fine. In the golden version of Amber Guardian will now hit 2 minions, giving them +2/+2 and Divine Shield, instead of just doubling the effect on 1. That's a pretty good change. I really like that. Folks, that's it for the Battleground stuff. This is pretty neat stuff. I'm looking forward to all these changes. I'm pretty happy overall. It certainly could be a very interesting meta we're about to step into. A little worried about the 2 weeks of all undead, which I expected, followed by 2 weeks of 75% undead. Maybe it was always like that. I don't remember that. I'm going to be sick of undead by the end of the month. But for now, since I haven't started yet, I'm excited. It's just a little while from now. I have to edit this up, and then I'm going to dive in. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this. Take a look at the leave any comments. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you want to know. And I'm looking forward to making some guides, and we're going to be back soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.